Hey everyone!
Hi!
It's Ken and Jean here from OK Portugal. And welcome to another episode of Portugal Farm Life. Good boy! Now as you can see, we've got some quite grumpy weather in the sky here. It's actually been raining for like the last week, and you nearly didn't get a video this week because of it, because we've been stuck inside. So the rain has stopped. We've had a little chance to come out. It's Friday the 9th of June. Summer starts on the 21st. So summer is just around the corner. This is very unseasonable. We've been here, this is going to be like our 4th summer.
Yeah.
And for all of those 4 summers, in June, it's really hot, it's really dry. Everything looks completely different. You definitely don't have these green fields with all of these flowers peeking out. Everything's really hot, dry and dusty. But this year is completely different. All of the rain dropped now in June, which is completely strange. It's supposed to rain in April. In April we had absolutely no rains, and all of our wells were dropping quite quickly. Now this well over here is our irrigation well, so we don't use this for the house or anything. It's only for watering. And we've been watching it over the last month drop at least a brick. So it's one of these tijolo bricks. And it is also going down quite a bit. So fortunately we've got these rains now, and hopefully they're going to bring up those water levels a little bit. Hey Eddie. Yes. Next to the well, just behind me here, this white building has a pump. The pump has like a pressure switch. And what it basically does, we've got irrigation up our vegetable garden. And when we turn on a tap, the pressure in the pressure switch drops, and it turns on the pump automatically. Now, I think there might be a leak, because I came here the other night to read our electricity meter from the front gate. And all of a sudden, in the middle of the night, this thing switched on, and it shouldn't be switching on. So I'm going to have to keep a close eye on that, because the last thing we want in summer is to be wasting a whole bunch of water with this pump just emptying out the well the whole time. But for now, it seems all right. So it's really abnormal weather this year. It's definitely something to keep an eye on. I mean, we are starting summer really strong. Joaquin harvested the grass a couple of weeks back. You can see that in some other videos. I'm going to put up a link on the screen. But yeah, he got like a record number of hay bales, and now he's got a whole bunch of green fields. So he's going to have a lot of food for his sheep this year. And that's actually a little bit of a worry for us, having all of these green fields right now. Because, as you can see, we're getting all of this new grass growth. And this is happening just before all of the summer heat. And it's not looking great inside our vineyard. So all of this has grown again after I cut it. And obviously we have all of these like straggly pieces over here. And basically I have to come down here again and cut all of this before the summer heat kicks in. Because what's going to happen is we are going to have like fire bans. We're going to have bans on like machinery and equipment, and those are going to happen really quickly. I think it's forecast to rain till the next week, till the weekend when my sister arrives. And then I think the day after she arrives, I think it's still scheduled to rain, and then the temperatures are going to skyrocket and we're going to hit those sort of summer temperatures. And when that happens, I'm not going to be able to take like a strimmer down here and mow and all of that stuff. Now you might be wondering why I'm not doing it right now. That's because this little gap that I'm filming is the only time that it hasn't been raining today and for the last couple of days. And I also have a problem with my strimmer. So I need to get that sorted. I need to come down here. I need to cut all of this back. And we also have a whole bunch of stuff in our olive grove that I have to cut back, and a whole bunch of jobs lying ahead of me. So while we're up here on this side of the farm, I wanted to take you down to our little dam and show you how much it's dropped. It's actually quite shocking because, summer hasn't even started yet, and it is looking very low. Yeah. So, yeah.
I'm surprised the water table hasn't gone up with the amount of rain we've had in the last week.
I know.
Hopefully, today has been like super rainy, so hopefully it'll fill it up a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, we've never ever run out of water on the farm before. Last year we had extreme drought, so we are quite confident that we do have enough water on the farm. We have that irrigation well, we have another big well for the house, we have this dam, so we should be all right. But it always is quite shocking. It's always a little bit worrying, like when you go into summer and you start to see the water dropping and you're like, oh. But 4 years so far, we're still good. We're still confident that we should have enough. And here it is, the steps going down. And I mean, I don't even know how many meters it's dropped. But, it is normal for it to drop as winter disappears and as the rains stop. But, yeah, I mean, I don't really know. It's like, I usually call it low when it's by these branches above Eddie's head there. It's even lower, and summer hasn't even started. But yeah, is what it is, I guess. And I'm sure we'll still have water. I mean, I will keep you guys updated. So I'm standing right by the water's edge, as you can see. And this is kind of the level where I am with the dogs. And then it steps up and steps up and steps up all the way to where Gina is over here. I'm going to get a little bit closer so that the microphone can pick her up. And Gina, do you want to...
I think it was our Christmas episode, or one quite close to that, and this is where I set off to go swimming for my Christmas December swim. From here, this is how high the water was.
Yeah, and your feet were actually in the water. Yeah, so you actually dug this little bit out here so that your toes were in the water. You're using this little pole to actually hold on to. Yeah. And the water levels was here, going all the way across, and it's dropped. I don't even know, what's that, 5 meters?
Can you see that branch over there, the one on the right hand side that bends over? During the winter swim I couldn't swim past that because that was in the water, and I couldn't swim past it, so I could only just do a little circle there. That's how high it was.
Oh, good job, Gina. Good job. So in 3 months' time, it's going to be 4 years since we moved to Portugal.
It's gone so quick.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing. I mean, a lot of stuff has happened. Sometimes we kind of sit back and it feels like you didn't really get much done in one day, or things aren't really happening. And then you kind of look back over all the videos that we've put out. Like every single Sunday for 4 years, we've put out a video, and we've done a lot. It's crazy. Yeah. And well, this was going to be the first week where we didn't put out a video. It was really annoying me because, you know, every single Sunday we put out a video for you guys at 11 o'clock. This whole week went past and we just had nothing, you know, nothing going on. Like we were stuck indoors.
It's been quite difficult with 3 big hairy dogs that are stinky and farty and wet, and they're
covered in mud and they want to go outside and they're bored, and then they're starting to like play with each other indoors. And we got this like a tiny little farmhouse. It's, you know, it's quite a lot of long buildings, but inside it's very small. It's quite cramped. Yeah. You know, when you have horse-sized dogs.
And because it's so late in the year to be rainy, it's really warm as well. So not only is it wet, it's warm, so the dogs want to be outside sitting in the rain, so they're getting angsty as well.
Yeah, and then you let them out. Oh, and then there's flies. I mean, the flies are absolutely terrible. Let me show you something quickly. This is the fly netting on our door, and I don't know if you can see all of the flies that are landing on here. I mean, it's just like ridiculous. This door, like, look at this. I hope the camera's picking it up. There are just so many, and you can kill all of these, and within 5 minutes they're all back again. They're all like, at night time, they all live inside the vines and stuff here. They all live around here, the lady garden pot. They live around here, the vineyards. They live in these bushes, and then during the day, as soon as the sun comes out, they're just all over the place. I mean, look at Gina. We've got to basically swat them away so that we can walk in through the fly netting. And then while you're doing that, a few of them actually fly indoors. Every time the dogs go in and out, they're getting indoors. It's so annoying. Look, she's just swatted them away and they're already all landing back. The flies have been absolutely terrible so far this year. Now this is called a red top fly trap. And it's basically got this red plastic top. It says red top on it. Now you must watch out because they do make fakes of these because they're so good. But I bought these on Amazon Spain. And yeah, basically it's a thing, you fill it up with this liquid and it catches flies. All of this black stuff here, that's all dead flies. These are maggots. I mean, it's absolutely disgusting. This whole thing fills up with flies. There are thousands of dead flies in there. It's absolutely ridiculous. Now that trap has been up for about a week, and that's how many flies we caught in just the one. At the moment, we only have 2 traps out because I do need to buy a couple more. The other one is on the front side there. It's probably about half as full. But in a week, we've caught tens of thousands of flies, and we still have tens of thousands of flies trying to get in our house and everywhere. It's just the worst. It's probably, I would say that's probably the one thing I really hate about central Portugal is at certain times of the year, the flies are just horrendous. And you know, it is like it here on like on the farm, but I don't think it's like that in the Algarve. Like every time that's like, well, I've only been to the Algarve once, Gina's been twice. And both times that we've gone, you didn't have flies.
Not like the flies here that are like super aggressive and in your face all the time.
Yeah, I mean, that's the worst part about them is they don't just kind of land on you. They land on you and then they bite you, and it's like stings and hurts. And then you get like a mosquito bite lump, and then it lasts for a few days, and or they like fly and then you shoo them away and they land on the same spot over and over and over again. And it can basically
test your patience.
Yeah, it's like you're in a really great mood and then all of a sudden you're like, "Rah!" and like going crazy. So yeah, the flies are pretty bad.
I don't know if they'll all survive.
Oh, Gina was just saying that we've got tons of these little like oranges happening on this tree. These are I don't really know what you call them. Like tangerines, yeah. And all of these little buds are like little baby ones. I mean, we are just going to get...
It's hundreds.
Yeah, this tree is going to be so full. These are actually my favorite ones because they're very easy to peel and they are very sweet and nice.
They're quite little.
Yeah. In South Africa, we call these nachis. I'm sure my South African viewers will know exactly what these are. I love them. So I was saying about how it's nearly 4 years since we've been here, and there's kind of a point to that because the thing that got us here was Bob the camper van. So if you've been joining us since like season 1, you'll know exactly who Bob the camper van is, and we're going to get there in a sec. But before we get there, I just want to show you the work that I have cut out for me here in the olive grove. So a couple of weeks back, Joaquin came down here with his tractor and his flail mower, and he mowed all of this. But between the rows, obviously we have all of this here. I've got to cut this all back. I've probably got about a week or so until, you know, a week of rain, and then it's going to dry out super fast, and then all of the fire bans and equipment bans and the maximum fire risk are going to come back in. And the last thing you want is all of this combustible material in long rows between all of these olive trees, leading up to the house, leading up to the olive grove. I've got to get rid of that stuff. And so, yeah, I'm going to be quite busy with all of that. And obviously I can't do that while it's raining. I mean, a little bit of light rain, not a problem, but it's been absolutely pelting it down. You know, it's not going to be fun to be out there with that. So I'm going to wait a couple of days. I also have another problem. My strimmer is, it's not broken. I have a problem with the head of the strimmer. There's like a mechanical problem where I can't get the head off, and it's just like spinning and rotating. So even if you turn the engine on, it stays still. Yeah, so I need to get that fixed. I'm hoping that maybe I can ask Joaquin to help me. I've just got to find him though when he's not super busy in the middle of a field with his tractor or something like that.
You just need the right tool bit, don't you?
Yeah, I need the right tool, and I need to actually know, you know, which way this thing turns and how it works and stuff like that. But I'll get that sorted. But anyway, enough of that. We want to show you Bob quickly. So at the moment he's over there in that field. He is our camper van. I don't even know what he is anymore. It's been such a long time. I did like a video clip when we first got Bob, and I basically showed like the whole interior and everything, and he was in great condition and looking fantastic. Okay, so this is our van. Come on, don't open inside there. Good boy. Yeah. So it's an Aldous AutoQuest 270. So yeah, it's got some pretty funky old graphics on there. They're quite retro, and in general it's quite clean and tidy really. There's no major rust or anything like that on it, and 2-litre petrol engine. So Gina and I, we knew that we wanted to move to Portugal. We didn't know what we were going to do. We didn't know like if we were going to buy a house or a farm or live in a field or what was happening. There wasn't any other YouTube channels about Portugal, and you know, there was nothing. So we were just doing it completely blind, and yeah, we bought Bob for about £3,500.
It was one of the main reasons we bought Bob was to get the animals, so dog and the cats over here.
Yeah.
And it was cheaper to buy Bob than it was to have them transported over.
Well, exactly.
And it meant that we had complete control of their environment while they were being brought over.
And if we had to live in a field or something, then we've got like a little house to live in. You know, like if we had made a terrible mistake, like we had no one to go off on this, we like quit our jobs and just decided to take a chance. Yeah. And it was like, if something goes horribly wrong, at least we've got like a camper van that we can live in, you know. Yeah. Worst case scenario, we can kind of survive, and we could buy like a very cheap bit of land or something. But fortunately that didn't happen.
No, it worked out all right, but that was, yeah.
Yeah, it wouldn't have been fun to live with these. Well, we didn't have 3 big dogs. I think we only had dog and we had the cats.
One big dog and 2 big cats that were quite stinky and farty in the van. And Meko, so the boy cat, used to, at night time when he was having his little stroll around the camper van, used to put his foot on the horn like in the middle of the night, so he'd be like,
yeah, he would sit in the driver's seat and just put his foot on the horn, and you would wake up at 2 o'clock in the morning with the car going and he was just like,
what?
Yeah. And then spiders, we had like spiders landing all over us. I mean, that was crazy.
Did,
I had a big poisonous tarantula type spider that's like very rare in the Iberian Peninsula walking across my naked back when I was sleeping. It was like horrendous. I woke up because there's a giant spider, and it really is big, and we're in Spain, so we don't know what the hell this thing is. It's like a tarantula looking thing, and this thing was running all over me while I was sleeping, and it actually woke me up, and I thought I might have been dreaming it, but nope. Okay, so I need to I'm not saving this one, I'm sorry. This guy's going down. Yeah, it's like 1 in the morning. Anyway, wish me luck, everyone. If This is huge. Alright, I'm usually one for saving spiders and things. But this is like a, I don't even know what the hell this is. I'm in a whole new country, and this thing, it's all small now, but this thing's covered in hairs, has a huge abdomen. I mean, this looks like some kind of crazy tarantula type thing. It's pitch black. It's got massive like pedipalp fang things. Yeah, it's got big old fangs on the front there. Look at the size of those fangs. That's a big old spider right there. And those are some big old fangs up front. So in case anyone's wondering, this is the book that saved us. It wasn't anything inside the book, but it was the actual book itself. I used it to basically crush the spider. So Gina's first aid manual saved the day.
His leg's still on the top of the cat box.
Oh, one of his legs are lying there. Shame, man. I feel sorry for him, but yeah, there's no yeah.
There's not enough room for five of us as it is.
My heart is pumping right now. I don't know if I'm going to be able to sleep again. Jeez. But it was all good fun.
You killed it with the first aid book.
I killed it. I applied some first aid techniques to it with the first aid book and got him out of there.
It had giant fangs.
Yeah. I'm the designated thing to kill bugs. I generally try and save bugs. I generally try and save spiders. But when you're locked up in a camper van and it's like 2 o'clock in the morning and you're really tired and you don't know what's on you and it feels the size of a human hand walking across your skin, it's time to die. You know what I mean?
And we couldn't let it because the cats weren't on their list, so everyone had to be locked in. It's not like we could just open the doors and run away.
Yeah, and we came in September. It was boiling hot and we had to have all the windows shut. I mean, it was a hell of a trip.
It was another test of patience.
Yeah. And this is Bob the camper van, and he's looking very, very sad. And I don't blame him for looking sad, because he's been in the Portuguese sun, and I mean that has really wrecked him. And then he's obviously been in the cold. We haven't really had frost or anything like that, but I mean just the sun has really hammered him.
We have really neglected him though. Really neglected him.
Well, we're not using him. So that's the main thing. He's not matriculated. He's still got GB plates in him, you know. He's like off the road, sworn off the road kind of thing. So we can't drive around in him. But yeah, he basically sits down here in the winter time, and then in the summertime what we generally do is we take him up to the farmhouse, and Gina usually uses him as an office space. And well, the reason, you know, when we have guests, so she uses this as like a little office. And have a look inside we've got spider webs going on here, we've got the roof carpet is coming down, we've got some mice have come in here, there's water is leaking. I mean, he's really in a bad state at the moment, so he needs a lot of TLC. So what I want to do when it's not raining is come down here. I've got to start him up. Wow, look at all these cobwebs. Crazy. So he's going to be full of spiders as well. But yeah, I want to come down here when it's not raining. I'm going to bring him up to the farm. We've got to fix some leaks in the roof. We've got to, I don't know, fix up this carpeting or get new carpeting. And then we want to turn him into like an office space. So I think we're going to take out the seating area here, and we're going to put some kind of a desk in here. And then, oh wow, yeah, there's a lot of leaking coming in. Oh, it's looking really bad in here. Sorry, Bob, but we are going to fix you up. Next week, my sister arrives from the USA. She's going to be staying with us for about a month. And that means that Gina's office, that she uses as an office, it's kind of like a spare room next to our house. She has all of her art studio in there. She does all of her work from there. And yeah, it means that she's going to have to give that up. She's going to have to vacate. She's going to have to vacate, and she needs somewhere else to go. And we were hoping that we were going to get a bell tent. We were actually talking to this manufacturer of bell tents. They were going to send us a tent, but we don't think that we're going to get it in time. And we're going to turn a bell tent into like a beautiful little studio, and we're going to put our, we've got like a little solar system that we're going to put in there. We've got like this Vivor portable fridge, and we're going to put a computer in there, and we're going to put all of her stuff. And she was going to have this amazing like little camp tent, and it was going to be in this field, which has got like exceptional views. I mean, right now you can't really see, but we've got the mountains in the background. It's sort of like one of my favorite spaces. But unfortunately that didn't happen. Eddie, what are you doing? Oh, he's just doing a little bit of landscaping. He's doing a little bit of landscaping. Guys, if you want to get one of these dogs, they're lovely, sweet doggies, but you need a big garden, because they make about a couple of these every single day. And if you've got a small garden, you've got absolutely no chance. I think he's digging for moles. He's digging for moles. He's actually in trouble today, because for the first time in a very long time, he ran away, and he hasn't done that in ages. Unfortunately, we've got a GPS collar that sent us an alert. Now, I say ran away. He didn't actually run away. He basically ran after some animal and hopped a few fence lines and then was quite far away by the time we realized. And yeah, he's kind of in the dog box. He's not that happy with me today because I had to give him a very stern telling off. But I think we're getting there. Okay, so I can see we've got some rain coming. In fact, there's rain already landing down there. I felt a few splatters. So I think we better start heading up to the farmhouse again. So, nearly didn't get an episode this week. We just wanted to give you a little bit of an update as to why that happened and to let you know all of the stuff that's going to be happening. Obviously, when Livy's here, we're going to be doing some really cool stuff. I don't know if you saw last year's videos. I'm probably going to put a couple of thumbnails up there so that you guys can find them and watch them. We did some amazing stuff together. We traveled around Lisbon. We did like a Lisbon city life vlog together. And yeah, it was awesome fun. I'm really looking forward to having her here. I've actually got a whole bunch of really cool products arriving. I just got to get underneath that. And well, they're basically manufacturers who have asked me if I want some cool things. I've looked at them and I've gone, hell yeah, I want those things. So they're going to be appearing in videos of ours. Now, we haven't been paid to make the videos or anything like that. They've given us free products. And so we can say exactly what we want about them. If we don't like the products, we can obviously say, you know, what the problems are. But, you know, so far, the stuff that has arrived is very cool. I'm super excited to make videos with them. And I just have to wait for all of this rain to stop.
I can feel the rain coming.
It's just about to start thundering down here. And look at that, we've even got blue sky up there. And then in this direction, yeah, the direction that the wind's blowing, this is bringing another storm. Another thing I forgot is, you know, Bob hasn't been started in a long time. The fuel that's sitting in his fuel tank is about 4 years old now. It's a miracle that he's actually been starting for like the last 3 years. Now he's been sat there for a full year. He's looking very sad. I'm going to be very surprised if we can get him going. So I got a friend who's going to be coming around. He's going to be helping me. He's going to help me do a service on Bob. Obviously, I'm going to film that. You might actually recognize him. They've also got their own YouTube channel. So make sure you tune in for that episode. I think you'll find it quite interesting.
Come on, Eddie.
Eddie, come on. So another thing about these Estrela dogs is they're lovely. They're incredibly sweet, but they're also very stubborn. They don't like to be told what to do. And they're very challenging. Obviously, we've got quite a lot of experience with dogs now, but he is pushing us to the limits every single day while he's a young puppy. In reality, he's actually a very good dog, and we're actually very lucky to have him. The stubbornness part is just part of the breed, you know. They are very independent dogs.
Independent thinkers.
Exactly, you know, so they don't really like being told what to do. All of the important stuff, okay, all of the important stuff he does do. So, you know, but sometimes when you're on a little walk and you're like, hey, come on, he'll just look at you and go, nah. I'm not going to come.
Sit down.
I'm quite happy sitting over here, thank you very much. And you have to kind of like, you know, show him who's boss giving the commands, because he's getting big, he's full of testosterone, and he wants to take over and he wants to be in charge. And obviously we have to make sure that he realizes that that's not a possibility.
He was very good the other day. There was a wild boar in the neighbour's land early in the morning when I took him for a walk.
Apparently it was huge.
It was bigger than him, like a lot bigger than him.
Yeah.
And I called him and he came back. It's like and didn't. Maybe because the boar was so big, he was like, "No, I'm not messing with that." But I don't think
I don't know. I don't think so, because I mean, like dogs that I know, they don't really care how big something is. Like even like the tiniest dog will go after a lion. So
Yeah.
I don't think he was looking at that wild boar. I think he was just kind of learning now, because he's definitely gotten a lot better.
Yeah, he is doing well. It's just everybody has mistakes, and this morning was
And he's a teenager.
a little mistake. Yeah.
Exactly. Now this weather is perfect weather for geese.
Something in my eye.
Probably a raindrop.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, it's definitely starting to rain, so we're going to have to wrap this up. But before we wrap this up, we've got to show you the Portuguese, because like every week these guys are changing and they're growing and doing all sorts of things, and we love our Portuguese. And yeah, have a look. Goosey Goosey. Goosey Goosey. Goosey Goosey. Hello, Goosey Goosey. Whoop, 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 whoop. Ah. So these guys are so funny. Obviously they're incredibly heavy, and when it's windy they basically stand there flapping their wings, and they do this thing where they run against the wind, flapping their wings trying to take off, but they're too heavy. Good geese. Tasty, tasty weeds. Eat those weeds. Now, as you can see, everything in here is a bit of a mess. Obviously, I haven't been out here for like a week. I haven't mowed. And our lawn is not looking so great because we've got these guys eating all the lawn. And yeah, definitely have to come in here, do a little bit of a tidy up. But yeah, these guys are loving it in here. They're nice and safe and they're enjoying it. And they're very, very, very noisy. Noisy. Okay, I'm starting to get proper wet now, so I think we head on in. What? Nanook. Oh, yeah, you haven't seen Nanook for a while. This is our oldest pet. I don't even know how old she is. She's probably 14. Okay, this is Nanook. She's a Maine Coon cat, so one of the largest cat breeds. But she's quite a small Maine Coon. She's bigger than a regular cat. But she's very sweet. She's very pretty. She's very thin because she has health problems. But yeah, she's a sweetie, and you probably haven't seen her in a long time because she's very elusive and usually doesn't come out. But here she is. She's keeping an eye out for mice and rats. So we have a rat problem. Well, we had a serious rat problem. There was an episode, I don't know if you guys remember it or if you haven't seen it, I'm going to put like a thumbnail over here. You have to see this episode, it's crazy. Basically, we had a rat problem. I came across this rat nest, and while I was trying to like pull the covers back, I had about 3 rats just like launch and jump on me. I got it in slow motion. It was hilarious.
So you can see it's up there, there's all this polythene.
Wow, rats were jumping on me.
Oh my god!
Well, 2 of them just jumped on my stomach.
I know.
Did you capture that?
Yeah.
They actually jumped on me.
Oh my goodness.
Anyway, so these buildings were rat infested. That's the room that we cleared out over there. And then, well, we cleared out this as well. And then we were using this as storage. But we found what was happening is behind this wall over here is where the chickens sleep. And behind this wall over here is like the whole chicken coop, chicken run area when they're not free ranging. And so we got these holes in the walls. I mean, believe it or not, rats actually gnaw holes in the walls. And so they were using these holes to basically run through and go like into the chicken house. They've actually eaten through these things here. And the rats were so bad that you could actually hear it at night time. You could actually hear them gnawing in here. So they had a hole up here. So anyway, I got rat traps, like serious rat traps, and put a rat trap over there, put a rat trap over there. I think I have 4 in total, and every single night I was catching 4 rats. And then there was one night where I got 3 rats in one trap. So all 3 of them got their heads basically trapped. These are super powerful rat traps. It took me a long time to find these. I found them on Amazon UK. And let me show you what they look like. So they're called Victor, the original rat trap, victorpest.com. This is not a paid ad or anything. These things are so effective. We were catching a rat every single night. On that yellow tab over there, I was putting a blob of peanut butter, and basically this trap is so strong, you have to be super careful. I mean, look at the size of this thing in comparison to my hand. It's massive, and was catching massive, massive rats. Now before that, I bought this, which is like a mouse trap. It's not even a mouse trap. I mean, it's just terrible. And yeah, I mean, this was totally ineffective. It's like this little plastic thing. It's going to do nothing. I mean, the rat's head's bigger than this. And so I'm so glad that I found these. So yeah, if you have a rat problem, honestly, every single night for like the last 2 weeks, we were catching 4 rats a night, every single night. And then for a couple of days, we were catching like 1 and then none. And then we've just caught none. And I think we've managed to wipe out the last of the rats. But we literally caught about 100. Oh, wow, this is funny. Look at this. So, oh, you've missed it. Basically, Goosey Goose Goose was pecking Eddie on the nose. You got to watch out. Goose is going to get you. That's right, Goosey. No. Oh. Yeah.
I think she's trying to get his tongue.
She probably wants to eat you. You better watch out, Eddie. She's still a baby. When she grows bigger, she's going to be throwing you all around the farm. And I give you full permission to be the boss. My Goosey Goose Goose. Goosey Goose. Don't pick me, please. Good girl. Here we go. Here we go. Good Goosey Goose Goose Goose. She likes nibbling the hairs on my arms, look. Oh, it's actually quite painful. Thank you, Goosey. Okay, so it's raining. I know you probably can't see it on the camera.
It's that fine misty
It's
stuff.
that fine misty stuff. I hope you've enjoyed the update. We're going to go back inside now and we're going to go back into hibernation and probably get underneath some blankets and put on some movies.
Well, you don't need blankets. It's like t-shirt
I need blankets.
weather.
I need blankets. I need to feel like, you know, I might even start a fire.
No.
But yeah, it's time for us to sign off. I hope you've enjoyed the episode, and we have a whole bunch of cool stuff coming. A whole month of Livy, and then after that we've got Gina's family coming around.
Sam, my nephew.
Yes, so Sam's going to be around. He was also on some other videos before.
Sorry, the goosey just got Eddie.
Oh, Eddie, leave the goose alone.
She started it.
Leave the goose alone. The goose is allowed to be the boss.
And on that note.
Yeah, on that note, it's time to go. I hope you've enjoyed it. Ciao, see you next time.
Bye.